Today, the moon is in Sagittarius, the fire sign that has to do with the bigger picture of meaning and how we connect with meaning, what we believe, how we make sense of things that are unfolding in our lives. I'm Marina Orms here with your Astro vibe for Monday, August 4th. So, with today, the moon staying in Sagittarius all day long, we have some themes of an opportunity to reflect, to pause and reflect. And Sagittarius is that ability to see the forest, right? So getting up above the forest, out of the middle of the trees, out of the thick of everything that is going on, and see that bigger picture view, that different perspective that gives you an ability to get a sense of the meaning of what's unfolding, what's going on, and how to make sense of it so that you can have that story, right? Give that way of telling the story that allows you to work with the energy. And how we tell the story matters. So any story has a lot more to it than what is told, right? So there's what we tell, and then there's what we didn't tell. And when we're in the Scorpio moon energy, as we were on Friday and Saturday, and then on late Saturday night, the moon went into Sagittarius. So when we're in that Scorpio energy, we are in the middle of things. We are connecting with what is between the lines, with what is unspoken, what is not in the story but is in the story, right? Because it is part of what's happening, but it doesn't get told in the detail. And so what do I mean? So like when you have a piece of fabric and you have all the threads, but then you put the pattern of the fabric together, you see the bigger whole, right? But when you get down into the detail, into the threads, there's a lot more going on there than you can actually put in that story of what you see in the whole. So with Scorpio, we get into all of the experiences that there are to have, all the weave and the weft. I'm not even sure if I know if I'm using those terms correctly, but the warp and the weft, I think it is in weaving. Um, but anyway, right? It's down in the details. It's the ups and the downs, the ins and the outs, the consistency of the individual moments, and all of those things. So it's how we look at that, all the whole, and how we tell the story. And we have choices in how we tell that story. We could tell the glass half empty story or the glass half full story, and we have choices in how we tell it. We can tell it as a story of powerlessness or a story of possibility. We can tell it as a story of what happened in the past, or and even the past, right, can be told in different ways. So the story of the past, the story of the future, the story of the present, all of that is up to perspective and interpretation and the way that we choose to make meaning out of the truth, right? And the truth is complicated. So, um, some of the things that are unfolding in the news and what's going on with some bigger stories of corruption and abuse and things like that that are happening that we're seeing surface in the news headlines, right? There's a deeper level of all the things, all the truth that really happened, and we only get pieces of it. We get this person's view and that person's view and this person's spin and that person's spin. And, and then we have, what about the victims? What about this person? What about that person and how it impacted their life, right? And so you see what I'm getting at, like the complexity of everything in that deeper truth is so vast. There's no way we could even tell all of it in one story. So we summarize and we make meaning. We we get our takeaways, and how we do that, how we choose to do that, we can put our own spin on. So when we interpret what is unfolding in our own lives, when we interpret what we see in the news, we can put a spin on that to say, hey, here is a possibility for bringing something to a place of healing. Here is a possibility of doing something differently. How can I show up in my life in a way that affirms the values of what I would like to see done differently? And so bringing it back down into those details, into those minutia of the little baby steps you can do in your life. And so this is all about empowerment, but how we tell that story matters. And again, if we feel overwhelmed, if we feel victimized by a story, then we're telling that story in a way that has less possibility. So let's tell the story, whether it's the story of what is happening in the news, or whether it is the story of something unfolding in your life that's very personal to you, telling that story in a way that can invite possibility, can find those places of healing, can affirm the positive humanity, and be authentic, bringing in that authenticity as we build community and work together toward visions and goals, just like I was talking about yesterday. When I zoomed out to take a bigger view of the outer planets and how we are coming in closer and closer to this almost exact double sextile with Neptune and Pluto and Uranus. So yesterday's video took a deeper dive on that. I recommend that if you missed it. And today, thinking about how this applies in your life, how you can make meaning out of what is, what's showing up in your awareness right now, and how you can look at that and tell a story of possibility. So for self-care, great time to pause, a great time to reflect, a great time to take a deep breath and ask yourself, wait a minute, what else is possible here? Wait a minute, what is the one little thing I can do? Wait a minute, how could I look at this differently to tell a story of healing instead of a story of feeling trapped or whatever it might be? How can I tell this as a story that has positive possibilities, and that I am on that journey? Because really, wherever we are somewhere on a journey, and we can help to shape that journey by how we even look at it and what we see as possible. Thanks so much for being here. I'm Marina Orms. You can book a reading with me at astrologyheals.com and learn more about evolutionary astrology at my member site. The link is in the description for this video. I have handy reference guides for the planets in 2025. I have a new video series on evolutionary astrology and the lunar nodes, and how we can work with this tool to create healing in our lives. Thanks so much for being here and for subscribing. I will see you next time with more astrology for unshakable self-care. Bye for now.